So you've done your research, you've nailed down the right person, you've sent an invite for informational meeting, and this person has agreed to meet up with you. Yoo-hoo! Then you go to the meeting, talk about a job in their company, and they say the company is not hiring. End of conversation. Or in some cases, you've learned from my content not to ask for a job. So you talk about the company, how it's doing, XYZ, the challenges. And then the person talks about some policy they have in the company about, say, visa sponsorships or the kind of profiles they're looking at, and they won't be able to help you. End of conversation. All that effort gone to waste. Look, you've got this informational meeting. Now let's make the most of this meeting, not only for that particular company, but for your overall job search and career. So in today's video, I'm going to go with you the 4 questions you must ask in every networking conversation, coffee chat, informational meeting. My clients know how particular about these questions I am when I am coaching them for their job search. Hi, my name is Shub Faujdar. I'm a Singapore-based job search strategist and career coach and a former corporate recruiter. I'm also a LinkedIn top voice on job search and careers, so don't forget to follow me there. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. I release 2 videos every week, a quick nano tip on a weekly basis on Tuesdays and a deep dive on Thursdays on anything related to job search and career development. So one of the biggest mistakes job seekers make when they are reaching out to people for networking, coffee conversations, informational meeting is just thinking about that one particular meeting. But it's very difficult to build trust and credibility in just one meeting. And that's where the relationship dies, unless you take out a lot of effort to build it later on, or something clicks. Most of the times, in my experience, job seekers are amazing at getting those first coffees, but don't know how to convert them to further conversation. So with that in mind, I've designed 4 questions you should be asking everybody you're meeting. Now, these are apart from, the conversation you have about their experience, what they like, what they don't like, anything personal, which you should be taking a note of. But these questions are designed to get you moving into the job search zone and still be able to follow up with these people every few weeks, a couple of months to build that relationship, not only for this particular job search, but for your career success for always. So question number 1, what kind of advice would you have for somebody like me who's looking for a job at this point? Now, there are few things we've done here. Hopefully you have introduced yourself well and gone a bit deep in your experience earlier in the conversation. Now you're zooming them to somebody with my kind of profile. So it really narrows down their advice. Otherwise, people end up giving very generic job search tips, which you can find on Google. And then there's nothing specific to follow up on, nothing which stands them out. And the follow-up will sound very forced, so to speak. So you zone it there at this time. So keeping in mind the market conditions, and this is a question which immediately makes them realize that they can't just talk about their experience. They have to keep in mind what's happening in the industry right now, what's happening in the job market right now. So that's a great question to start. It's still broad-based enough, and see where they go with it. You may want to ask a few follow-up questions on it. If there's some specific advice, I would recommend you to note it down either during the meeting. People love when you take notes. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel you're really listening to them. Or immediately after, if for some reason you don't have anything to take note of. I personally don't like when people take notes on phone, because I don't know if you're taking notes or you are just WhatsApp messaging somebody else. The second question you want to ask them is, which companies should I be targeting at this point in time? I know, it sounds so counterintuitive. I'm talking to this senior person. Wouldn't they think that I'm not interested in their company? Look, there's a chip on their shoulder right now. They are waiting for you to ask them for a job. The moment you ask them this question, It relieves them of the pressure that you will force them or you will ask them to help in their job search or give them a job. You are genuinely then asking them about companies. And you won't believe, but so many of my clients benefit from knowing about companies they may not have in their target list beforehand. Because these people are senior in the industry you're targeting, they know the know-how of what's happening, and they end up telling you about the companies which may be growing, which are expanding, where they may have friends who may be hiring in the future. So do list out some of those companies as well. The third question you want to ask: is there anybody else in your network who I could speak to? It would really help me in my job search. Now, the key after asking this question is you ask this question and then shut up. It takes people a couple of minutes to even think of some relevant names. What a lot of job seekers end up doing is they will ask this question, and then if they don't get a name in 5 seconds, they'll be like, it's okay, I understand it may be very difficult. No, be quiet, give them respect, have a smiling, resting face, don't stare at them, don't make them feel under pressure, and then let it be. And if they say, at this moment, I don't think of anything, just don't pressurize them. Just say, that's okay, I completely understand. If you think of any name, let me know. And if you don't mind, maybe I can look at some of the LinkedIn connections you have. And if you're closely connected to any of those, I would love a referral. Now, before you suggest to them about looking at their LinkedIn connection, please read the room. If this person is showing you that they're uncomfortable with all your asks, don't push them. If you think this person is very straightforward, very willing to help you, then this may be a welcome message for them, and you're taking away their work of thinking of who to connect you to, and you can just give them a few names after this meeting. And now the final question. I know you've been gunning to ask this question throughout the meeting. Do you have a job? But please don't ask it like that. That's the worst way to ask this question, because they either have a job or not. Let's make it still a bit open-ended. What are the plans of your team or anybody in your organization to be hiring somebody of my profile in the coming months? If you think you've built good rapport and can be direct, you can rephrase it to, would you or anybody in your organization be hiring somebody with my profile in the coming months? That's important, because if you just ask, would be hiring, they can say no, and that's it. But coming months keeps the conversation open for a very long time. So with these 4 questions, hopefully you have enough input from the person. Sometimes it could be just from question number 1 because they haven't built enough credibility, or they take some time to open up to people. But that is enough for us to have subsequent conversations. So I hope this video has been helpful. It answers one of the biggest questions people have of how to make the most of informational meetings. And please do not limit it to just their company or to a particular job. Keep it open-ended. The more open-ended in the beginning, the better results you will have by the end of your networking conversations. So until next week, that's it from me. Have a great week. Make an impact in your job search and your career. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for more effective networking tips and strategies, please do check out my digital course on the art and science of networking for job search. The link will be somewhere in the description, and it may just make all the difference in your job search success.